of drama, of capes and tights, a world where death is a revolving door. Welcome to the Geek Matrix.
Hey, everybody. All right, cool. I was worried that seems like my audio may be a little quiet. Um, I was worried that you couldn't hear me at all, and now it looks like you can. Apologize if it is incredibly loud. Don't know what my microphone volume was, but I know it was all the way down just a second ago. So here we go. All right, welcome everybody to the Geek Matrix's DC Comic Review Show, episode 226. We are covering the comics that have been released for the week of November 29th, or excuse me, November 27th. We're releasing a day late, and it's all by myself. That's why it's such a special episode. I am without my co-hosts, both Rob and Brandon. They are in transit in different regions for different reasons, and so just stuck with me. So you're gonna have to deal with that kind of stuff. Uh, um, um, we got lots of books to talk about, so I'm gonna get to them pretty quickly. Before I do, I want to remind everybody next week we've got coming the Aquaman by Peter David omnibus for 150 bucks. Uh, Another one I know I'd love to get. I'd like to get that one, but also Injustice Gods Among Us Compendium, Volume 1 for $60. And releasing a hardcover from left field and out of nowhere, Absolute Transmetropolitan for $150. And Warren Ellis aside, man, that's a hell of a story. That's a hell of a story, and definitely worth the money. But for the books that we have this week, it is absolutely insane. Variant covers that came out this week that I thought were awesome. Joelle Jones and Stephanie Hans break out the big guns for their covers. So good. Glenn Melnikoff on Nightwing 120. And for Justice League Unlimited, there's a lot, but I would keep my eye out for the Jim Lee, Andy Kubert, Baines, Edwin Gelman, Yasmin Putri, and Daniel Samperi. Those are all just so good. David Nakayama on Black Canary, that was awesome. And both Jeff DeCal and Tiago De Silva do killer covers for Power Girl. I mean, killer covers. And for our honorable mentions, we have just a few. Um, uh, Coming around again as everybody expected. Batman, Santa Claus, Silent Night Returns, #1. It's as big and bombastic as you could imagine, and really, really fun. It's an 8.75 out of 10. Batman the Brave and the Bold, #19. Five good to great anthology stories. Um, it keeps me reading. It's always something that I want to grab. And if you want to read comics with minimal investment and still have a good time doing it, this is a great way to go. 8 out of 10. Batman: The Long Halloween, The Last Halloween, #3. The Crazy Continues. I'm still reading it, but this one did take a dip from me. 7 out of 10. Multiversus Collision Detective #6. Dash was turkeyed out this week, but maybe he'll do a review for that one next weekend. Power Girl #15. This is a damn good book. I wish I could force my co-host to catch up on it so we could be added to the weekly main show. Seriously, it's that good on a consistent basis. 8 out of 10. And I'm going to put Harley Quinn 45 here. Harley Quinn's book has gone a little, I'm not really sure how to say it. It's unfortunate. It's the the art feels very Looney Tunes esque. Her new costume, which was unnecessary, is it's so much like punchlines. It's ridiculous, like a lot, and that's not good. The story kind of feels like it matches the art, which is just cartoony. I'm having a like the first issue I was okay with, but this one I just can't get into. I I just I couldn't get into this one at all. If I'm being honest, and I don't know if I can get into the new direction. 6.5 out of 10. It was all right. Um, a little bit less than average. And those are all the honorables worth mentioning. So I am going to take a quick second here to mark down the time for commercial when I upload this to Spotify here shortly. And now it's time for our full reviews. Welcome back to the Geek Matrix. We're going to kick things off here with Action Comics 1077 with a cover from Clayton Henry and Tomu Mari. And first up, it's Phantoms Part 8. Written by Mark Waid, art from Clayton Henry and Michael Shelfer, colors from Matt Herms, and lettering from Dave Sharp. We've got the wrap up of both of the stories in the main part this week. Super Hyphen Man and Over Admiral Kunder Boy have the Kund all return all museum items everywhere, while Aether's pride gets the better of them. Even with him gone, the Phantom Zone and Earth's Suns are still in danger. Splitting duties with Monel, Superman heads to Earth, and I think that was a great wrap up to the arc. Um, if you haven't caught that, let me try that again because these are the kinds of summaries that you'll be getting live. This is fun. Ooh. So it is a good wrap up of both stories this week. I said Super Hyphen Man and Over Admiral Kunder Boy, which is what Superboy says they demand of him. They have the Kund return all of the museum items to everywhere they belong. Well, Aether's pride gets the better of him and gets him laid out flat on his back. Even with him gone, the Phantom Zone and Earth's Sun are both still in danger. So he splits duties with Monel and heads back to Earth. And it was a really good wrap up to the arc. Now to see how Clark deals with it. Even all of Mr. Terrific's plans involve Superman, so he needs to get there quick. The art is great as always. You can expect that with Clayton Henry. Next up, we have Supergirl in Your Mission, Kara Zor-El. This one is written by Mariko Tamaki, with art from Megan Hetrick, colors by Marissa Louise, and lettering from Becca Carey. This whole story has been a very wild, intriguing ride, and this just moved into a whole other category. We found out that the prisoner is fear, her brother is rage, and that's how they destroy worlds. She instills fear. He uses that fear to cause rage, and total war destroys the world. Fear tells Supergirl that her mission now must be to kill her, or her brother will make her keep destroying worlds. She says to kill her, or she'll give Kara no choice. So wow, that one keeps getting better and better, and I really like the art here with the colors selling it like a whole bunch. Both of them were fantastic this time. Awesome jobs. 8 out of 10 for that one. And next up is Detective Comics. Number 1091, written by Tom Taylor with art and colors, interior and cover by Mikkel Jennin. And I butcher his name. He's one of my favorite artists, and I don't know how to say it. And lettering by Wes Abbott. This continues to be the story of Bruce tempted to take the age reversing serum, but he does. We don't have him debating it very long. And he even gets a test run as Batman afterward. So that happened. He's taken that first dose, which is where he's told that he'll notice the biggest improvement. It'll explain why Bruce is able to stick around a while longer, Batman wise. So mission accomplished there. But the Kai kid that stole the money from Penguin is now under Batman's protection, as per what Batman told the Penguin. Still, it ends with Kai getting a special visitor, what looks to be a female Talon. Um, again, Mikkel Janin is one of my all-time favorite artists, and it's because I can't find fault in his art. And when it's paired with the story that's not just a bit interesting overall, but also pulls me in with this Kai's story, it already feels like real Detective Comics. It's this is good. It's an 8.5 out of 10. Next up, you guys like how fast this is going? Next up, we have The Flash. I don't know what that was. Next up, we have The Flash number 15, written by Simon Spurrier, art from Vasco Georgiev, coloring from Matt Herms, lettering by Hassan Atsmane El Hau, with a cover by Mike Del Mundo. So things are crazy in Flash. Wally now able to split in two, thanks in part to his new costume, which helps allow him to access powers of the deep change, which is where he was during that time against the stillness and the arc angles. Um, so anyway, he's able to split in two, and remember he gets busted out by Irie. He has to tell Irie what's going on. She freaks out and things go crazy. Of course, she goes back to the other Wally, where him and the fam have to fight a lizard warrior before they're able to carry on and keep walking. And that's where we find the reason why they can use their powers while they are there in Warlord's land. Most of the time, it's because Wally stored some, I guess, localized speed force into Foxy. Foxy is the new dog that mysteriously came out of nowhere last issue, and you got to be within so much distance of Foxy in order to be able to access the Speed Force. So this is nuts, and it's weird, and also really super fun. I really like it. The art is great. It's a lighter read for those that were thrown off by the last art. It's a real fun read, and to that, it's really easy to look at, and you get add to that it's really easy to look at, and you get an easy 8 out of 10. I'm excited to see how all the new things for the Flash family work out. I'm excited to see what all of the new things for the Flash family are. Um, yeah, for sure. 100%, man. An 8 out of 10 there. And next, Green Arrow, man. Look at that cover. Written by Chris Condon, we have Green Arrow 18. Art from Montos, that's colored by Adriano Lucas, and lettering from Hassan Atsmane El Hau, with that cover by Torrin Clark. And whew, man, that's pretty. So Green Arrow is back on street duty. It couldn't be better for him. We dive headfirst into a series of murders, two being tied to Horton Chemical, which Ollie ran for a month, and the latest being one Senator Eustace Foley. I like this. I like this, and so will you. Montos, thank you. This was a pleasure to look at, and the story is just what I want to be reading for a Green Arrow book. It looks great. I'm so happy with this. We've got an 8.25 out of that one. All right, next up, not Harley Quinn, Nightwing. Um, written Nightwing number 120. Written by Dan Waters with Dexter Soy on cover and interior art with colors from Veronica Gandini and lettering by Wes Abbott. Spheric, we met them in the last issue, after the explosions, has interjected itself into Bloodhaven's city as a police force to combat the terrorist attacks. And they've been officially deployed. They are the ones who did it, and they are blaming gangs, setting other gangs against each other, basically turning Gotham into a war zone to make it look even more so like they need to be there. Magistrate, anybody? Nightwing's going through some Batman level bullshit right now. They call themselves the Helios Project, by the way. That'll probably come up later. Excuse me, I didn't realize how tired I was. Need to mainline some caffeine. uh, so the Helios Project, as Spirit calls them, they make a show of blowing up the base of the gang that they framed. Uh, uh, a gang that was seemingly peaceful. They called themselves the Teddies, and apparently Nightwing had an arrangement with them that as long as they made sure violence didn't happen, that he would protect them. Working the streets. Um, so the base gets blown up. Nightwing gets there, finds out that the people that were blown up in the attack were actually a bunch of 12 to 14-year-olds. Um, the thing about the Teddies is that it's more of a group of people coming together for their neighborhood than it is an actual gang. After Nightwing got to know them, they worked things out, and that's how things were. This book, man, this is awesome. I really like what Waters is doing here. Everything about the plot, everything about what's being written, and I don't know how someone couldn't love to look at Dexter Soy's art. It's chef's kiss good. It's so good. He's right up there in my top three as well. It's just, this is great. It really, really good. Very happy with this. An explosive turn of pace compared to how Tom Taylor had handled Nightwing, and while I never had a complaint about that, this is definitely just as awesome for Nightwing. It shows he fits any kind of story, man. 8.5 out of 10. Next up, Superman number 20, written by Joshua Williamson, art and colors inside and out by Dan Mora and Alejandro Sanchez and Alejandro Sanchez on colors, with lettering by Ariana Meyer. Doomsday, old ass Doomsday, is now a time trapper. And the last time he was killed, it was by the Legion of Infinite Worlds, and he was unable to evolve. He needs to die again, he thinks. He thinks that if he can die again and evolve one more time, he'll become a god. And if Superman doesn't help him, Time Trapper will make sure that everyone knows that everyone he knows will perish. That's after he tells him that not all of his allies will survive this hellish battle with the current Doomsday Brimstone Edition. And he's right. There's gruesome ally death, in this issue. So it happens really, really soon. And that's not even the cliffhanger at the end. They very creatively contain Doomsday while the supers heal their bruises. Meanwhile, we can see someone in an OG Doomsday containment suit declaring that it is time for their revenge on planet Calaton. That's pretty huge, and this was pretty good. The art is phenomenal, and what's more terrifying than a Doomsday? I mean, I guess we'll find out. It was Calaton that dealt Doomsday his first death after he continuously destroyed it for 3 whole years. So, hell of an issue. I can't wait to see what's coming next. 8 out of 10 for Superman number 20. Black Canary Best of the Best #1, written by Tom King, art inside and out from Ryan Sook, with colors by Dave Stewart, and letters from Clayton Coles. Black Canary is throwing a fight against Lady Shiva for Vandal Savage that's being broadcasted across the universe. It's a whole lot of talking, like so much, so much talking in the caption boxes. But it is very typical of what you would hear from the start and into a combat sports fight from the announcing team. It's exactly like that. It's a whole lot of prattling, and I've given you all of the information that was presented in the book in just under 30 pages. That and Diana's mom is old, maybe sick. We see her bald. The art looks great, but I can't figure out what it is that should interest me about this story. I mean, when I'm thinking ultimate fight against Lady Shiva, Black Canary, while a very badass fighter, and I mean, I do love Black Canary. It's not somebody that I would have been like, you know, who we should throw up against Lady Shiva. So definitely not in the top five anyway. But I suppose that there's that's part of the mystery of the story. It's just it's not set up in a way that's intriguing. I don't know. It's very, very typical Tom King fare with very, very good Ryan Sook art. 6.5 out of 10. Um, Absolute Wonder Woman #2, right there. That is a hell of a sword, is it not? That's some Cloud Strife sword stuff. Or was that his name? Cloud Strife from Final Fantasy. Yeah, I think so. Anyway, that's some Final Fantasy sword shit. Absolute Wonder Woman #2, written by Kelly Thompson, Hayden Sherman, with colors from Jordy Belair, and letters from Becca Carey. Her mother is Circe, or Cersei, however you prefer, I suppose. Her name is Diana of the Wild Isle, Princess of Hell, last of the Amazons, first of her name, Khaleesi of the Dragons. No, Last of the Amazons really is the end of it, though. That's a hell of a title. Her lasso was made from the remains of the last basilisk, infused with the blood of Prometheus and blessed by Demeter, the goddess of the hunt. And its name is Nemesis, and it is a badass. And her winged horse, the dead one made out of bones because it's a skeleton, is a Pegasus, but it's the Pegasus, like of myth. And this time, the guy that she has a special relationship with is Steve Trevor. Now, I guess some things are just absolutes. Oh, why didn't I have my fucking horrible dead drum roll ready for me? But tis, there we go. So she sends away the harbinger of an impending invasion from hell upon earth and tells the U.S. military that they'll work with her and around her, but she doesn't work for them. And there's also no choice. She's right. A giant tentacled insect looking creature that looks to be about hundreds of stories tall, hundreds as in plural, has arrived, and she tells them to evacuate the whole city. She walks towards it alone. And this Wonder Woman is cool. It's weird to see that Cersei is like a loving mother, but that's what we got here, or at least the positive role model and loving mother. Um, I love the original Wonder Woman. I always will, but this Diana is something else. She's actually, it's like they combined Diana, Farouk, Nubia with a little bit of Yara Flor, and it really works so far. So does the story. I like what it feels like it's building up to. This is already the hint toward, us being basically told that other people will be coming together to battle this gigantic monster, or maybe a larger part of the evil that's coming. So that's mentioned in this issue. The art is really cool in most places, if I'm being honest. And others, I want it to be more. I'm thinking of a straight on shot in particular that I really was not fond of. But I guess art style is art style. I really like this so far. It's a great book overall, and it deserves an easy 8.5 out of 10 this week. That's how much I enjoyed it. And finally, Justice League Unlimited #1, written by Mark Waid with art inside and out by Dan Mora, with colors from Tamara Bonvillain and lettering by Ariana Marr. First panel. The team assembled here is Superman, Wonder Woman, Star Sapphire, Black Lightning, Kid Flash, and Firestorm. The cast is going to rotate that much. That is cool. Um, okay, so Red Tornado is calling the shots in the tower as it's uploaded, basically running as the AI behind um, the watchtower. He's keeping an eye out. He's got access to everything, so uh, he's shouting out jobs and the perfect teams to go take care of those jobs. It's awesome. It reads really well. It sets things up perfectly, and it makes it fun to do so. There's quite the twist at the end that I don't think any of us saw coming. But if you're listening, Mark, thanks for not using purple. And I thought it was a really good time. It looks absolutely stunning, and it makes me really want to read more. I have one hesitation, and and then I'll give my story. One hesitation is I really hope that this doesn't feel too much like a world's finest story that he's written. 8.75 out of 10. I'm excited to see what's coming. And now for the end of the show already. My top three and favorite moment in third place is going to be Nightwing 120. Absolute Wonder Woman #2 comes in at second place, and in first place, Justice League Unlimited #1. With my favorite moment this week, it's going to be a peaceful Thanksgiving with family. It was the first one in a few years. Usually, I am alone, because my family would go and visit their family. Um, and that is it. So, up next week, what we've got coming here: Absolute Superman 2, Action Comics #1078, Batgirl 2, Batman 155, Birds of Prey 16, JSA 2, Poison Ivy 28, Shazam 18, and Two Face #1. We've also got DC Horror Presents The Anthology #2, DC Horror Presents Creature Commandos #3, DC Batman Smells Robin Laid an Egg #1, The Batman and Scooby Doo Mysteries #12, Scooby Doo Where Are You 131, Batman Santa Claus Silent Night Returns #2, Little Batman Month 1 #2, and Plastic Man No More #4. Man, I'm looking forward to that. Also, don't forget about that Aquaman Omnibus, Injustice Gods Among Us Compendium, and the Absolute Transmetropolitan hardcover. That's it, and that is all. Uh, I don't know if anybody had enough time to get joining on there this week, but thank you for watching, and more than likely, thank you for listening. We will be back next week covering all of DC's weekly releases, same geek time, same geek channel, and I promise next week more geeks. Won't just be me, and it will have a little bit of substance. But I didn't want to not put a show out this week. But speaking of shows, that is the end of this one. I am getting out of here, so you will have to as well. Be careful out there, and remember, in the Geek Matrix, everybody has a home. In the Geek Matrix, you are not alone.